Hello friends, this video on electrostatic potential part 20 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos till part 19 before going ahead with part 20. Is a charge of 8 millicoulomb is located at the origin. So let us plot the charges as the question says. So we have a charge of 8 millicoulomb at the origin. So this is our origin. So here we have 8 millicoulomb, right? Now calculate the work done in taking a small charge of minus 2 into 10 to the power minus 9 coulomb from a point P which is 0, 0, 3. So what is the position of the point? It is 0 along x-axis. Now let us plot the axis before that. Let us suppose this is my y-axis, this is my z-axis, and this is my x-axis. So we have to calculate the work done from point P. What is the position of point P? 0 on x-axis, 0 on y, and 3 on z-axis. So let us suppose I say that this point is P. Let us assume this is P, which denotes 0, 0, 3. Right? So from this point to a point Q. So where is Q? It is 0, 4, 0. That means 0 along x-axis, 4 along y-axis. That means let us assume somewhere here. So this is Q. That is 0, 4, 0. Via a point R which is 0, 6, 9. That means 0 along x-axis, 6 along y-axis and 9 along z-axis. Maybe let us assume that it is somewhere around here. That is 0, 6, 9. So we have to calculate the work done in taking the charge from point P to point Q via point R. That means it will first go from point P to point R and then it will come to point Q. Let us suppose this is point Q. Okay, so we have to calculate the work done while going from P to R and then R to Q. So this is what we have to calculate. P to R and then R to Q. So which is my source charge here? The source charge is this charge which is at the origin, that is Q, which is equal to 8 millicoulomb, that is 8 into 10 to the power minus 3 coulombs. And which is my test charge? Test charge is the small charge which we bring in the vicinity of the source charge. So test charge is minus 2 into 10 to the power minus 9 coulombs. Right? We know from our previous studies that work done never depends on the path which is followed. Work done only depends on the initial and final position. So in this case, what is my initial position? Initial position is of course P. And what is the final position? Final position is Q. So it doesn't matter whether it goes to R or whether it goes to somewhere else. It really doesn't matter. All it matters is it is coming from P and going to Q. So the work done to take it from P to Q will be equal to the magnitude of the test charge into the potential difference between these 2 points. That means potential at Q minus potential at P. Right? So what would be the potential at point Q? Potential at point Q would be due to the source charge. So that means this will be equal to KQ divided by R. What is R? R will be nothing but OQ. So this minus potential at P, again potential at P will be due to the source charge. So that will be minus KQ divided by the distances OP. Now in the question it is already mentioned that the value of OQ and OP are mentioned. What is OQ? The value of OQ is nothing but 4 centimeters. Similarly, OP is nothing but 3 centimeters. Correct? So let us put these values now. So K is 9 into 10 to the power 9. Q is 8 into 10 to the power minus 3 divided by OQ, that is 4 into 10 to the power minus 2. This minus 9 into 10 to the power 9 into 2 into 10 to the power minus 9 divided by OP, that is 3 into 10 to the power minus 2. Now when you calculate this, you get the value as this comes out to be minus, right? So on calculating, you get the value as 1.2 joules. So this is the work done to take this point P, to take this small test charge Q naught from point P to point Q. It says if one of the two electrons of a hydrogen molecule is removed, we get a hydrogen molecular ion. Let us suppose this is your hydrogen molecule. Now if you remove one electron from this, what do you get? You get a hydrogen molecular ion with a positive charge, right? Because it is losing one electron. In the ground state of a hydrogen molecular ion, the two protons are separated by roughly 1.5 angstrom and the electron is roughly 1 angstrom from each proton. Determine the potential energy of the system. Specify your choice of the zero of potential energy. So before we start calculating potential energy, let us understand this system. In a hydrogen molecule, when I talk of a hydrogen molecule H2, how many electrons and protons do you have? You will have 2 electrons and 2 protons, right? Now when this hydrogen loses 1 electron, it becomes hydrogen ion. So now how many electrons it has? It has 1 electron and 2 protons, right? Now the system says that so in all it has 1 electron and 2 protons. Now the problem says that the 2 protons are separated by a distance of 1.5 angstrom and the electron is separated from each proton by 1 angstrom. So this is 1 angstrom and this is also 1 angstrom. Now this is your system. So you have to calculate the potential energy of this system. So how do we calculate the potential energy of a system? This is related to the potential energy of a system of n charges. So here how many charges you have? You have 3 charges, right? So how do you calculate? You calculate it this way. So the potential energy will become, let us call this as Q1, this as Q2 and this as Q3, or you can call this as QE for electron, QP1 and QP2. So the potential energy will be equal to K into QE into QP1 divided by REP1 plus K into QE into QP2 divided by REP2 plus K into QP1 into QP2 divided by RP1P2, right? Because I already told you that potential energy is always equal to half summation of K into Qi Qj divided by Rij, such that the same pair of terms never repeats. So here also one is E, one is P1. So EP1K means P1E should not come, right? So here we got this term. Now it is very easy to just replace the values and find out the answer. We know that charge on an electron is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulombs. Charge on a proton, that is QP1, will be equal to QP2, that is equal to 1 plus 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Now when I talk about the distance, REP1 is equal to REP2, which is equal to 1 angstrom, that is equal to 1 into 10 to the power minus 10 meters. And the distance between the two protons, that is RP1P2, is equal to 1.5 angstrom, which is equal to 1.5 into 10 to the power minus 10 meters. So putting all these values, we get potential energy as minus 30.78 into 10 to the power minus 19 joules. So this is the net potential energy of this system. So it also asks, specify your choice of zero of potential energy. So the zero of potential energy is always considered at infinity, because we had arrived at this expression. When I derived this expression, we started with this assumption, right? That we assume that the potential energy is zero at infinity. Let us look at another type of problems. When related to this lesson on potential energy or electrostatic potential, you will most of the times face problems where you will be asked to calculate the net potential of a system, and you will be given a system of different kind of charge distributions. So one of the most common kind of problems which you face is this one, where you have any geometrical figures with different charges distributed along its vertices. So have a look at this figure. So here you have a square with plus q, minus q, minus q along the four vertices. Do you have to calculate the electric potential energy of the system of charges? So you have to calculate the net potential energy of this system. So since it is a square, so all these sides will be equal. Let us say they are all A. Let us name the vertices. Let us say this is A, this is B, this is C, and this is D. So here you have four charges, that is Q1, Q2, Q3 and Q4. So value of Q1 is plus Q, Q2 is plus Q, Q3 is minus Q and Q4 is minus Q. This is what is given in the problem. So what would be the net potential energy of the system? It is again related to the potential energy of a system of n charges, which we used in the previous problem as well. So here also you will have to include the energy between a pair of particles. That means we first consider the first particle, that is Q1. So Q1 with Q2. So Q1, Q2 divided by R12. Now Q1 with Q3. So Q1, Q3 divided by R13. Now Q1 with Q4. So Q1, Q4 divided by R14. Now start considering Q2. So it will be Q2. Q1 will not be included because Q1, Q2 is already included. Q2, Q3. So Q2, Q3 divided by R23 plus K into Q2, Q4 divided by R24. Right? So even this Q2 is also done. Now let us start with Q3. So Q3, Q1 is covered here. Q3, Q2 is covered here. So you start with Q3, Q4 divided by R34. So Q3 is over. Now start with Q4. If you look at Q4, it is covered with all of them. Q4 with Q1, Q4 with Q2, Q4 with Q3. Since we are not supposed to repeat terms, so this is our total potential energy of the system. So here we know the values of Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 and R12, R13. These are the values which we need to calculate. Let us suppose this is our 1. Let us name this as 1. ABCD is not required here. Let us call this 1. This is 2. This is 3. And this as 4. So this is R12. When I say R13, this is R13. When I say R14, this is R14. R23. So this is 2. So this is R23. R24. This is 2. This is 4. So this is R24 and R34. So this is R34. So what are the values? So R12 will be equal to R23, will be equal to R34, will be equal to R14. These all will be equal to the side of the square. When we talk of R13 and R24, they are the diagonals of the square. So they becomes root 2 into side of the square. Now using these values, you can just substitute here and what do you get? You find potential energy is equal to K into Q square divided by A into minus root 2, where K is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Just put all these values and calculate, you must arrive to this solution. So that is how we calculate the total potential energy of a system of multiple charges. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.